before crack cocaine came into the game, it wasn't as violent.
Right.
But once crack cocaine got into the game, it became a whole nother issue.
First it was just territorial and ego. Then it became about money.
Then it became
That's
about
when
bread.
it got crazy.
That's when it got motherfucking
That's when
crazy.
it got crazy.
That's when it got crazy. And that record was a microcosm. It was a very tiny look into what was happening in Los Angeles at that time with gang culture. You remember Watch Stacks?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was there, baby. Both of them. Now, hold on. Tookie and Jamil turned that son of a gun
Turned that motherfucker out.
Okay.
Remember that big ass scene they formed on the field?
But see, I tell people that they tell me I'm lying. It might not. I remember what happened. How that happened was Jesse Jackson. Yeah, Jesse Jackson.
Coalition, the Rainbow Coalition.
Every time they had a deal with the Raiders, I think the Raiders was playing.
No, that was way before that. That was the Rams.
The Rams was playing. This was a Saturday afternoon. Rams were playing Sunday, and the deal was you could have the concert, but nobody could dance on the field. Well, as soon as the music played, everybody rushed down to the field.
When Rufus Thomas hit the stage, everybody mobbed it.
Okay, now Jesse Jackson tell the Crips come down and form a human chain around the track. Okay. And
they took over the whole field. It was so many of them cats, dude. I remember
niggas that wasn't even Crips joined the Crips that day.
When I was sitting like I can look on the side of the stage, right? I didn't have a front view, I had a side view. And when they marched in, right? When they marched in, they started going because they ended up eventually ended up at the top, remember?
Okay, right.
When they was coming up in double file, going to the top of the stadium or whatever the fuck that is, right?
Right.
Whoever was coming down
got bobbed.
Man, they threw one dude down. Man, that's amazing. But we didn't have the technology that we have now to record incidents. But we have witnessed so many incidents at high school dances, so many incidents at clubs, so many incidents where it just jump off. You know, right now it's happening like a motherfucker.
I saw a cat at the Watch Stacks. It was so bad at the Watch Stacks. It was a mob of cats. Guys was actually just volunteering the Crips that day just not to get jumped on. They wanted to be on the winning side because the Crips had the LAPD outnumbered. LAPD put their hands up and just quit.
Yeah, the LAPD backed away from it.
They went and set up by the scoreboard and just kicked it.
And you know what their attitude was?
What?
Let's let these niggas kill themselves. I remember I was at a Stevie Wonder concert at the Forum. And Tookie and them, all his camp was there. Right?
Okay.
And motherfuckers don't realize Tookie was a star.
Yeah.
He was that nigga was on the Gong Show.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Tookie,
they called him Tookie. Tookie
Williams, right?
Yes, sir, I remember that. But I saw it.
When they, them niggas used to wear them overalls and shit.
Right.
They were huge bodybuilders. These niggas had arms as big as my whole body and waist as big, right? And they was in the Forum on the ground where the good seats is at in the Forum before the show. And they was doing what bodybuilders do. Cats on the spotlight. The union cats was on them, right? Okay. Until they start slapping the shit out of niggas, right?
Now, what the Forum did, Dick Griffey and Louis Gray. Remember Louis Gray?
Yes. I worked for Dick.
These are old promoters. Louis Gray, he was a super promoter back in the day, and Dick Griffey was a big time promoter. He also had a piece of Soul Train. What they did is they formed, they got with Big West. They formed a security company of ex-cons called NES.
Right.
National Event Services. They was all big buff cats. They patrolled the Forum parking lot.
Now this was crazy. When I first went to work for Dick in 80, 79, 80, 81, somewhere up in there, Dick's bodyguards were Wes Crockett.
Right.
A dude named Jack who was fucking huge. And about 4 other cats, right? And they surrounded Dick, right? And me and Dick got into it. And the first thing I thought was them niggas was gonna max me out, right? Me and Dick got into it. And then when they didn't do nothing, and I think it was because they perceived it like that's how him and Dick get out, right? And Dick never once said, kick this nigga ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But the first time I met Dick, I cussed him out.
Did you really?
I didn't know who the fuck he was. I thought he was just some guy trying to tell me how to do my fucking job. I didn't know he was the promoter and the manager of the acts and the record company president. I didn't know none of that.
He had it all.
And when I got after the show, when I got off the riser, Dana Myers and William Shelby and all them cats from the Throwdown Brothers, they said, "Oh, you going home tomorrow?" I was like, "What the fuck you talking about?" They said, "That was Dick Griffey." I said, "Who the fuck is Dick Griffey?" They said, "He's the promoter of the show. He's our manager. He's the record company." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." Right? So I seen him the next day and I apologized. Right? I said, "Man, I had no idea who you were." But, and I was a young nigga still. I said, "But I don't allow people to tell me how to do my job, sir. And because you didn't know who I was and I didn't know who you were, right? More importantly, I wasn't gonna let you fuck this gig up for me because this is a shot for me." And I was really honest with him. I said, "Man, when I get off this stage, I got 20 motherfuckers I gotta answer to. And if it's gonna be fucked up, let me fuck it up."
Right.
And he said, "I respect that, but I don't like the way you talk to me." I said, "Sorry, man, damn." Right? And we became so close after that. He took me to Africa twice, right? He took me to Europe. He showed me the world. And I'm forever indebted to Dick, man. Dick was a cold nigga. Dick was the motherfucker that put that deal together for Michael Harris and Suge Knight. And then they ex Dick out of the equation.
Right. I remember Dick for a while, he was trying to teach cats the distribution game, and he was had a contract that was named after him. It was a dick in his contract, so goddamn big. I was still kind of young in the game, but I knew this contract ain't the one to sign. Okay, about that thing.
That was a library.
Yeah, no, that ain't the one I want to sign. Thank you, Mr. Griffey, but no, thank you.
Yo, the game was so cold, and this is what's so cold about that particular Bangin' on Wax record. You know, Leon Hayward has always distributed his own record.
Yes.
Always pressed his own record.
Yes.
Right. When he worked with McCullough, who was the chief rapist in charge in town in terms of records, he would take his stampers and leave. You weren't pressing no records behind Leon back. He'd take the mothers and stampers and haul ass. Right. Leon told Ronnie Ryan, Leon and Duffy. You remember Duffy?
Duffy Hooks, yes.
Duffy Hooks told Ronnie, do not give that record to Russ Reagan. Russ Reagan, right? Do not give that record to fucking Russ Reagan. They used to tell him that every day because Ronnie used to brag like, "Yeah, I'm taking this record to Russ." And Russ said he gonna do this and he gonna do that. And Leon and them begged him. He's like, "Man, don't do that." And sure enough, he did. And at the end of the day, nobody got paid.
Nobody got paid.
They milked the cow and then they went banged on for the tapes. They didn't need the tapes anymore.
Right.
What the fuck? That's like milking the cow and giving it back to a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but that record, once again, as proud as I am of being a part of it, I carry a burden of guilt for being a part of it as well. Now, that's not to say that if I wouldn't have participated, it wouldn't have happened.
Okay.
Right? But it happened on my watch. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, Tweety Bird just passed. We just lost Tweet 2 months ago, David. About 2 or 3 months ago. Jay Shanklin a month or 3 weeks before him. So people are dying, you know, that were affiliated with that record that wasn't even gang bang active ass niggas that's on the record. It's just that it's almost like that record carried a curse.